Hello everybody. Welcome to Technology Thursday. In this series, we are doing programming on Stream, and tonight we are continuing work on Dooglebot, the Discord / probably eventually Twitch bot we are building. So, hey Kitty, welcome! Let's dive right into it. So since our last stream, we had a request come in on the Discord for a sarcastic answer functionality, which was just too good for me to not implement. So I did so. So we didn't have to make many changes at all to the routing JDA handler. In fact, if we go ahead and compare with same repository. Yeah, we just changed some logging on the handler. And we have added the new sarcastic answer handler. So got a few, regices that we accept, basically looking for questions in the form of why do or why does something 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 question mark, or where do / does something 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 come from question mark. And when we, hey Rob, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, buddy. You are my hero. Everybody say hello to Wifey Dougals. Wifey Dougals, would you like to say hello to the stream?
Oh, hi everyone.
I don't know if you could hear that. It was very soft-spoken wife.
Hello everyone.
There we go. You could probably hear that one. So, Kitty says hello.
Hi.
So now we get back to the answers that we return when we get these questions in. So if you ask, why does blah, 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 you get, maybe because your parents had sex, probably more than once. They're actually into some freaky stuff. Or maybe you'll get because your mom, #suckitloser. Rob says hello. And actually, quickly, I'm going to turn on a fan because it is hot in my office tonight. And I found that having a fan on, even if it is not blowing on me and just circulating some air, makes a pretty huge difference. How's that in terms of background noise, folks? I could see about adding a noise gate if necessary. It's just a fan running in the background. It's a little warm in this office tonight, and so having a little bit of movement of the air is always useful. So so if we drop over to our Discord, we can say why do bad things happen to good people? Why? Because the truth is that I am Iron Man. There we go. Deep insight from the mind of Dooglebot. We could also say, where do Republicans come from? Well, honey, when a man and a woman love each other very much, ... So as you can see, it is working as intended. But now we need to get into some functionality that's actually going to be more useful over the long run, right? We can add things that are fun, like a temperature converter, or the sarcastic answers. But a Discord bot that does nothing of use benefits nobody. So let's go ahead and let's start saving these to the database. So in order to do that, we are going to need a few things. We're going to need to define what is a message. Maybe we will also determine what a user is, so that we can, collate messages across multiple server instances, for some reason, right? So let's do it. So inside our server, we're going to create a new package. Let's call it Bean, because of course, when creating our Java entities, we'll use the old Java Bean terminology. And let's create the first. This will be message. And then we're going to leave this for now. We're not going to do anything with it yet, because we need to just talk through exactly what it is that we're getting here. So let's just quickly put a breakpoint right here. Kill the application. And start again in debug mode. So what this will do is, pardon me, everybody. We are now running in debug mode. So if we send a message to our Discord, where do republics come from? They are made in a factory in Cambodia with terrible working conditions. So let's just say, hello, test Dougalbot. Let's add a couple emoji. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Right there, coming out of the back of his neck there. That's a reference to Homestar Runner for those who are not familiar with it. So now we have here our event, which we can at will just kind of peruse and see what's going on. So our message has a few attributes we can use. So we've got an author, which is showing you, Brenny Dougals, and then my ID. We also have a member, which is basically the author with the server that is being used. Pardon me. And that's useful information because obviously one of the things that needs to happen in order to really have functionality that works across multiple servers without those servers clashing with each other is that we need to keep everything kind of separate for each server. So we also have these hash sets here showing the mentioned users, mentioned roles. We have alt content, which is showing our emoji as strings. And, all that's fine. Let's see. We have emote mentions. So that each emote has an ID associated with it. Sorry, I'm seeing all of this for the first time, so I'm pouring through this the way I would, if I were doing production code at work, because honestly, that's how you have to do it. All right, now we have the actual content of the message. And this is interesting because this is actually, this is how tagging works in Discord. And actually, if we look here at the build reply method in our sarcastic answer handler, we can see that we're actually building the message that we send out where we tag people using that same syntax where it's, open brackets, @ symbol. I'm not sure why the exclamation point is here. So that's something we're going to have to dig into because that's probably in the Discord documentation for why that exists. That's fine. We have the message ID, which we're going to need. And then we've got the channel information, which is very useful if you ever want to respond inside the channel. You'll need the ID of the channel you want to respond to. And that's all pretty good. So let's kill our debugging now. Get this back up and running. You know what? One thing we didn't see is reactions to the message, but on the onMessage handler, we're never going to see that because this handle message is only called when we have a message received event, which we only get when a new message is received. If we wanted to handle the storage of reactions, we would go ahead and override the method. I think it's going to be probably on message update. Oh, we actually have on message reaction add. Although I wonder if on message update also has the same functionality. We'll find out. But not yet. All right, so we now have some idea what a message is going to have, and it has suggested to us some other classes that we need to implement in order to start designing this correctly. So aside from a message, we are going to need to have a Discord server class. We're going to need to have I'm going to say we're probably going to need to have an emote class. Oh, and of course, we're going to need the user class, derp I knew I was missing something obvious. And actually, we're going to call this a Discord user class because eventually we're going to need to have Dougalbot managing its own types of users as well. Because when we allow people to, for example, buy licenses or be administrators for a particular server, that information is going to have to be separate from a Discord user. Yes, I think that's looking pretty good. So, real quick, let's just grab some information from the Goog about spinning up a temporary database in memory right now, because we can set this all up to use a MySQL instance or a Postgres instance or something like that. But honestly, for what we're doing right this second, it doesn't matter. We don't need it. And so let's say Spring Boot set up in memory DB. Yeah, H2. There we go. That's exactly what we need. And we'll just grab some config properties because, once again, we don't really care about this. So we need com.h2.database because I think we've got Spring Boot starter data JPA already in our project. Let's take a look. Yes, we do. So let's uncomment that. And we're also going to add this here, but with the missing bracket added correctly. Now let's re-import. There we go. And then finally, we'll just grab the Spring data source stuff here. Now this is all in application.properties format. So we'll just we'll copy and paste it into our application.yaml in a big ass comment. And then we'll convert the format. There we go. All right, so let's do Spring. Ah, hell. Got our big ass thing popping up, blocking our view. All right. Data source.url. We're going to just copy and paste this. We'll say driver class name. And we actually have two here. Never mind. No, we don't anymore. There we go. By the way, folks, I'm trying out Streamlabs tonight. Hey, Neil, you know it, man. That's half of coding is Googling. The other half is cursing. And you know as well as I do that I've got the second one down pat. So, that's what we got to do. All right, so we'll say username, SA, password, hashtag security. That's a comment there, so that has no actual effect on the application. But it's just for funsies, folks. All right, now we've got Spring JPA database platform, and we're going to say H2 dialect. Are you going to give me autocomplete here? You're not. We're going to have to fucking type it in. org.hibernate.dialect.h2dialect. Simples. And that, folks, should give us a DB. But let's give it a shot. Rather than just, deleting those like that, we'll do it efficiently. That's looking pretty good. Yeah. So let's restart it. And if we have done this correctly, it should start. Nothing should happen. Really, nothing different should happen from normal. And that is correct. Let's just see if we can add a new data source. We want to go for H2. Yeah, we'll call this Dougalbot. That all looks pretty good. SA. Password. Let's test it. Wait, let's first download the missing driver files. Wop. We'll pop this over here for a second. Let's... shit. Hey, no worries, Rob. Have fun. Showering is always good. That's the difference between, I don't know, being clean and I don't know. I was going to say something, but I couldn't think of anything to say. So I'm sorry, folks. What I've done is not great. Here we go. Let's try that. Perfect. Okay. Yes. Get to work. All right. So we can take a look. We've got our schema, public. We don't have anything going on there because we haven't done anything with our database yet. And that's fine. We're not really worried about it at this point. But the... Oh, wait, hang on. Let's just double check, because actually that URL testdb should, in fact, exist. Oh, yeah, derp. There it is. There it is, folks. I just... we will. We'll pretend it didn't happen, right? Right. And so there we go. So let's kill it. And let's do some stuff. First things first, in order to use Spring Data JPA to connect to the database, we need a few things. We need some classes marked as entities. In order to have a proper entity, we need an ID field. So let's give it a private long ID, which we will mark with ID. Shit. I apparently can't capitalize things today, folks. My apologies on that. And let's mark this with the Lombok data annotation so that we don't have to deal with things like constructors, getters, setters, and all that stuff. Let's also add private string raw message content. Now, as you see, we've already got this little thing here. I'm very articulate. Telling us exactly, this is a column in our entity, and that's all good to go. So we need to do one more thing in order to actually be able to deal with this in the database, and that is that we need to create a repository for, inserting or selecting out of the database. So we're going to create our repository package. And then we're going to add a class, which is actually just going to be an interface. And this is going to be called message repository, assuming that I can spell that without fucking it up, which, to be fair, is iffy, right? That's all groovy. All groovy. But in order to make it actually do something useful, we're going to extend CRUD repository with it. Okay, and CRUD repository has the name of the things just popped out of my head, but needs to be message long. So this is basically the data type of what we are returning and the data type of what's going to be dropped in. Sorry, data type of the ID. Sorry, folks, my brain is not quite there yet. So let's go ahead and inject this into our class. Oops. And we'll just add the auto wired once again with the inability to There we go. And it's going to complain. We're just going to use this because it's, simpler this way. And we are going to do the following. We're going to say message repository dot save new message. We are going to provide this. No parameters because I have forgotten to give it the all args constructor, which it's now. Yep. Let's also give it the no args constructor so that JPA is happy. So now we should be able to add event dot get message ID long, and then event dot get message dot get content raw. So now every time a message comes in, once we boot this back up, assuming it doesn't, freak out and lose its mind, it will just, boom, get saved to the database. Which I will need to double check real quick because actually we need to have one more thing, and that is DDL. Can't remember where this DDL auto mode, and this is going to be create drop. So what this key does is basically it tells Hibernate, okay, I want you to look at the entities I have defined and upon, starting up the application, I want you to create database tables that correspond to the entities that, we've got. And so that's what we're going to do. All right. Yeah, this all looks pretty good. Anybody see anything that looks batshit crazy? Thinking it's pretty good. Let's do it. All right, looks like that created everything correctly. But let's just take a look. Let's give that a quick refresh. Womp, 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 womp. It definitely doesn't look like it has worked. And guessing this is not ideal. But let's get a new message in and go from there. Hello. Now, when we go back here, all right, I don't see any. I don't actually see any errors. So my guess is that what has happened. All right, let's just take a look. No, that's not looking good. All right, so this will fail, but that's all right. Where is the table? We should have a table here. Ah, hell. Let's hop to the Google real quick. Let's say H2 show all tables. Ah, there we go. We can just. Oh wait, no, that's not correct. Otherwise. All right, so let's drop in. Let's say show schemas. All right, that's working. Show tables from will be our next go-to. And that is not it. All right, so let's go back. There we go. We got our information schema. There we go. We've got all kinds of shit. All right, so now let's do the following. So select, oops, not select, select star from information schema dot tables. All right, here we go. We want to look for something that is not a system table. Okay, so I think I know what's happening here. And the problem is that I don't have IntelliJ configured correctly to look at this database. If the database were configured incorrectly, Spring would be losing its mind, and it's not losing its mind. Therefore, it is in fact IntelliJ that is incorrect. Let's set it to all schemas and see if that helps. Well, I'm definitely seeing more information. Alright, instead of fucking around with all of this, what we're going to do is, let's take this a different way. We need to eventually have some REST controllers so that we can, interact with the backend server application through our website. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to create our first REST controller. This will allow us to simply establish the same connection to the database throughout the entire application and verify via the web browser rather than trying to configure IntelliJ to the proper in-memory database. I think this is going to be a much easier method. So let's add, we're just going to call it test controller. We're going to annotate this with @REST controller. We're going to give this, oops, this needs to be public. Let's go ahead and also define our endpoint. So we're going to call this /API/test, and then we're going to give this an @getMapping, which is going to be /message. We also need a private message repository, which we're going to annotate with AutoWired and then just let it generate all the shit we need. Oh hell, iterable, you can't just stream. So we'll say alright, so we're creating a list of messages. We'll just make it a new array list. We're going to return messages, and then we'll just quickly message repository dot find all dot for each, and actually we can actually just do messages, add there, and we have now just functionally filled the entire message array list with the results here. So let's restart, rerun. Oh, that's looking good. So if you're listening and you've got Discord open, if you don't mind just dropping a few messages in the Dougalbot or the Dougal Zone Discord. So, hi, hello, what's up? Oops. Derp. Okay, that should be good enough. Now we will go here and we will go local host port 8080 API test. I cannot spell, folks. /message. We got a problem, folks, but I don't know what it is. We've got our REST controller. It should be working just fine. Let's take a look at our Dougalbot server application. We've got Spring Boot application, which gives us enable auto configuration, component scan, etc. That all looks pretty good. Oh wait, shit, hang on. I think I know what the problem is, folks. Let's just do that, because I think we actually set that to use just /message to begin with. Should be all right. All right, let's just take a look. That's right, Neil. We're Googling. So I do have to say, folks, I've got the oh shit, I know what I'm doing wrong, folks. I've put in the wrong thing. So if we go here, there we go. Yeah, it works. My brain's not engaged. So there we go. We are getting our actual messages back out, which is exactly what we expect. So yeah, it's definitely working. And let's just grab our request mapping right here and drop it right there. And we'll grab this and say /API/test. You used to be able to do this in the controller, and I think there's still a way to do it, but now we don't have to. So if I stop and rerun this, I can now go back here. I'll click back, get an empty array because, of course, we don't have any messages right now because we're dropping and recreating the database every time. So let's drop some more in here. Hey, hi, how are you? I'm great. Thanks for asking. And if we go back and refresh, we'll now see all of our messages with their IDs, raw message content, etc. So that's great and all. But what would be really great is if we actually, had a good setup for all of our entities. So let's do it. So every message is going to have a user. So let's set up our Discord user. So this needs to be an entity. This needs to have the data annotation. This needs to have an all args constructor and a no args constructor. We're going to go ahead and create a private long ID, which we will annotate with the ID annotation. A Discord user will have each Discord user will have a display name, but they also have a display name that is individually tailored to each server in which they take part. And so we need to make sure that we don't confuse those. So we will call one of them the private string global Discord username. I think that's probably safe. We will eventually need to store things like last seen time, but I'm not going to deal with that yet because I have a feeling it's going to be... Actually, it should be fine. So let's just go ahead and give them a private local date time last seen. That should be fine. That should all just work. So, once we've got a Discord user, let's go ahead and add a Discord user repository. Which will extend the CRUD repository. And it will return a Discord user. And has an ID type of long. So there we go. And we don't have to do anything more at this point. In order for the Discord user to work correctly. Now that we've got that all set up, we can actually give each message a private Discord user author field. Why are you complaining? Is it because we haven't set up the relationship yet? Okay, so now we're going to give this the hell, what is it? Many to one annotation, and I believe that will work correctly, but we'll find out in a moment because it might be one to many. Because once again, the no, it's one to many. Nope, it's many to one. Sorry, folks, not trying to jerk you around here, but this is just how it goes when you're programming. So now, in order to go back to the handler here, you'll see that the new message is complaining. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to extract a method here. So this is going to be called save message, and then we'll do one more, which is going to be map message. All right. So we're gonna just take all this shit out. And that way we can just message.set on all the things we need. All right, so event.getMessageID long. Message.set raw message content will be event.getMessage.getContent raw. I love the way IntelliJ IDEA is able to read my mind and put in exactly what I was looking for here. And then we will say message.setAuthor new Discord user, which we will extract right here so that we can drop it in where it needs to go. So author, we're going to go ahead and set our ID equals, and actually we're going to quickly extract this message right here into a variable so that we can use it again. Yes, get author dot get ID long, and actually let's just extract this as a variable as well, because we're going to need it again in just a moment. And we will say author dot set global Discord username to and let's see what we have here. So we've got get name. I think we'll also have an effective name. We'll just use get name, and that'll work. And then finally, author dot set last seen equals new local date time. Now, why are you complaining here? Ah, shit, hang on. That's not how you construct that. Local datetime.now will do. There we go. And let's just double check. I think I need to go back to the Discord user, and this probably needs to be annotated with temporal value or something of that nature. Let's just quickly look that up, because I know there's a way you do it, but it's one of those things that I store in the documentation on the internet rather than my head, because, you know, as often as I need to use it, it's not a big deal to look it back up. So JPA store local date time, and I think we're just gonna look down here. Oh, it might actually just be working these days. Alright, so it looks like it's kind of just working. We'll figure it out, because once again, we're just kind of winging it, folks. So, let's do it. Let's see if we get some big-ass errors in the application log. Does not look to be the case. So let's send some messages. Everyone, please send message here. There we go. That way, if anybody's online, they can do it, and we can see some messages that are not just from me. All right, let's just take a look at our application log. Oh, nope, we've got all kinds of shit happening. All right. So let's see. Yes, okay. So before we can persist the message with what we need, we are going to need to create and save the Discord user. All right, let's just create the thing right now. There we go. All right, and then we will say, yeah, let's get rid of that. Let's return author here. And then we will say simples. right, so let's pass in the, wait, and we'll call that author. Right there. So let's map Discord user to the event. And then we will pass in Discord user there. But first, we're going to give ourselves a private final Discord user repository. There we go. Let's do that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab the Discord user. We're going to save them. Discord user. And then that should all work just hunky-dory. You know, either that or it'll absolutely explode. We'll find out one way or the other, though. It's looking good, so let's... All right, now let's go back and look. All right, that's looking good. We've got no errors in the log, which means that either we're very, very successful or we're wildly unsuccessful, one of the two. And if we come back here and refresh, all right, this is all looking good. Yeah, that's looking good. Let me just launch up Postman for a second. Bear with me just 1 second, folks. I'm just quickly setting up well, shit, hang on. There we go. I'd forgotten the syntax that I've used on... Oh, you can't see this. There we go. All right, so now we can send that, and we're getting our stuff as pretty printed JSON, which is beautiful. And that's looking good. If anybody has sent any other messages, they'll just show up. So I can kill that because while the browser is just fine, Postman's a much nicer interface. Okay, so now every message with its associated user is being saved. But we've still got more things to do. Each server needs to have taken place in a single Discord server and may have associated with it one or many associated emotes. So let's get to the implementation of that logic. All right, so once again, we need this to be an entity. We need it to have the data annotation we needed to have an all args constructor, and we wanted to have a no args constructor. I'm going to give it a private long ID, which we will then annotate with the @ID annotation. The Discord server is also going to have a thing, right? It's going to have a name. There we go. It's been a long couple days when the word name falls out of your head. That looks pretty good. And then, of course, we will need to go ahead and add a new repository. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And this is going to extend CRUD. Oh wait, extendas CRUD repository, and this will be a Discord server. And long simples. Hey, welcome back, Rob. So, Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson. No, I don't know why I said that. Sorry, folks. We have gone ahead and implemented a new bit of functionality. So, right? You know what? That song is fucking amazing. I had the pleasure of seeing Kelly Clarkson in San Francisco, I think at Golden Gate Park, a couple of years ago for free, and it was such a good show. Like, I know she's no longer, popular, but like, yeah, you know what? She was singing to my soul. I mean, it helps probably that, particularly with that song, I had somewhat recently gone through a very, very difficult divorce. And so, that whole thing was just so true, I have to admit, I've never heard any of her music, but if you ping me some songs you think that, ping me the songs you're talking about, and I'll give them a listen. And we'll go from there. For sure. Okay, so now we've got our Discord servers, but we're going to do something a little bit different. If we want to save our Discord servers, rather than doing this on every message, what we're actually going to do is, when we have an onReady event, which is fired. Oh, got it. You're talking about Tuesday, aren't you? Okay, so we are going to need a repository, private, final, Discord server repository. We're gonna just let's just let this generate it for us. Bloop. Simples. Now, in our onReady event, got JDA dot get guilds. All right, so we now have the ability to pull out all of the guilds, which are what the Discord API calls Discord servers. And we're going to just say, we're going to, I'll move this later, private save Discord server. Oops, we're going to call this private void save Discord server. So we're going to get the guilds. We're going to do a for each. Say there we go. Perfecto. And actually we can simplify that. Let's let it do it for us. There we go. So now we've got the guild itself. We're going to say new Discord server. And then we're going to say Discord server repository dot save server. Oh, nope, not Discord user repository. Discord server repository. And not Discord server repository. Because we don't need a repository of repositories. But, yo dog, I heard you like repositories, so I got you a repository so you can repository while you repository. Or something like that. I've actually never seen the show that that's from. So I don't know if I'm doing it justice. Well, I know I'm probably not doing it justice. And quite frankly, I don't give a damn. So there we go. All right, so now let's say server dot set ID guild dot get ID long server dot set server name guild dot get name. Hells yeah, bitches. Simples. So that's good. Let's pop over to our test controller now. We're going to add a new thing. Public list Discord server. Get servers. We're going to say equals new array list, and then we're going to return servers. There we go. Now we're going to not message repository. We need to give this a private final Discord server repository. And let's let it add that to the constructor. Simples. All right, there we go. So now we're just adding all of the servers in memory to the array list. And then we're going to call this server. And now we'll stop and rerun. taking a little longer to start up than I was hoping. Want to make sure everything's okay. But as long as we don't get an error here, then it's probably fine. Well, what's the deal, my dude? Let's hit it with some, no, I don't need that. Sorry. This is what I need. No response because we're not actually running yet. Let's duplicate it. We don't need the health check. This will say server. There we go. All right, now why are you fucking up? Abort! Abort! Ooh, interesting. Alright, error creating bean Discord server repository. Singleton bean creation. What? What? Okay, that's unusual. Let's try it again. It may have just been a weird issue. Then again, maybe not. Let's take a look at our Discord server repository. All right, we're extending CRUD repository, so that looks pretty good. Let's look at our Discord server. Got our entity annotation, data, all args and no args constructors. This is all set up correctly. Just cleaning up a little bit. All right, let's kill it. Let's open up terminal. Oh, of course I would like to update Omage. All right, let's do a quick Maven clean. Perfecto. Let's see if we can connect here. Let's disconnect it. Let's make sure that we're killing everything. All right, something's not happening correctly. So let's let's dig in. So let's go ahead and here. I'm not sure if this is going to be available at this point, but we'll go ahead and take a look. Oops. Gonna add some quotes there, so that works. Oops. There we go. We're just dropping the name of all of our methods into log statements so that we can see where everything's blowing up. It may actually be... I will need to check our service to make sure that yeah, let's add a quick SLF for J instance here. We'll say log dot info initializing JDA. That looks pretty good. Here we are, folks. The wild world of software debugging. That all looks good. And I don't need to mess. Oh my god. That's a sign that I'm going to need to wrap up soon. All right, let's give it a go. And actually, one more thing. Let's run it in debug mode so that we see where it's hanging up. All right, so we've got our JPA repositories for all of the classes that we are... Wait, what the fuck is this? Oh yeah, no, that's right. All right, let's step through. Save Discord server. All right, why is this? Yeah, something's not right here, folks. Let's take a look. All right, now it's back to the Google and the cursing. Alright, none of this is particularly interesting. I mean, definitely not relevant. And they're using the XML configuration. Alright, that's not relevant at all. Alright. So let's just step through each of these. And that should be informative enough. Oh, very strange. That's quite unusual. So it looks like we're getting here. Right? Getting to this line. The guild does exist. I do have a no-args constructor, so that should be just fine. If I step through to the next, it just fails, but with no error at all. All right, let's take a different approach. Let's do that. And actually just pop this over to another window for a moment. I have some things that I have to keep somewhat sensitive. All right, so we do have our onReady event. Now that's all looking okay. I was wondering if maybe I needed to use an asynchronous method to get the guilds, but that is not the case. Everybody still awake in there? Sorry, folks. Tonight is a pretty boring stream, unfortunately, because we're debugging. But you know, that's all right. This is really a big chunk of what we do. Let's add some new breakpoints. Actually, let's just enable the any exception, which is a real pain in the ass, but that's all right. We don't need caught exceptions. We just need uncaught exceptions for now. So let's do it. All right, so guilds is an unmodifiable random access list. Okay, that's all right. With a size of 1. It's a little concerning how long it's taking to actually load that data. I wonder if we've got something crazy going on with the actual data structure we're getting back from Discord. Because this is sure as hell not ideal. Let's see. Yeah, something's all fucked up. Oh, and we're getting a whole bunch of shit in the error log. Alright, that's fine. Alright, let's step through and see what we get. Waiting until last debugger command completes. Let's do something real quick. Let's remove that. I know we're having some issues surrounding that. Well, folks, I don't know what to tell you. Now, given that it is almost 9 p.m. and that I have had a long day, there is the distinct possibility that the problem here is actually related to my brain not working correctly. Very, very possible. So we're going to kill this. We're going to run it without debugging. Let's just see. We get to save Discord server, and then we're blowing up here. This is bizarre. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Line 51. Yep, there we go. Line 53. Line 55. And line 57. Now, if we were going to have an error that made sense, I would expect it to be line 56. But I actually think we're not getting to line 51. I think it's actually the... 55. Okay. Discord server repository.save. Server. Well, folks, this makes not a goddamn bit of sense. Not a single goddamn bit of sense. Let's take a look at our imports and make sure everything is exactly the way it should be. That's looking good. Let's do the same here. Do Googlebot server repository, Discord server repository, Discord user repository, message repository. Got Discord server, Discord user, Discord message. And then we've got all the other shit we're using, which is exactly as we would expect. All right, folks, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do what all wise engineers do when they hit a problem that doesn't make any fucking sense. They do something else. We're gonna take a moment and we're gonna go somewhere else. Because, quite frankly, this issue doesn't make any damn sense. I'm not sure why it is failing to save, unless it is that onReady is available before the JDA handler has been fully initialized, maybe? Yeah, let's just... I'm just going to Google one more time. So we're going to say... Actually, let's back up. Let's say Spring Boot JPA repository hanging on save. This shouldn't matter, but let's give it a shot. Let's see if this is working. Nope, can't do it. Can't do it because we've got the CRUD repository. So, and actually that's a good call out. CRUD repository hanging on save. All right, I don't see anything that looks great. Yeah, this is not useful. Let's just take a look at what methods we've got. Yeah, no, I mean, there's nothing here that actually... Nothing at all that is gonna help us here. Just in case it's something exceptionally stupid. Let's try that, but I don't think it's going to change anything. Thank you, app. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, let's try something new. So if we just comment these out, I'm guessing that the server will start up normally. See, here we go. Started Dougalbot server application in 3.385 seconds. So we definitely know that doing this and attempting to access that server repository is causing a problem. So let's see if there's a different event that is firing at a different time. So let's walk logically through what we've got happening, right? We have a private final routing JDA handler, which is being injected by Spring into our constructor. Then, in our post-construct method, we have our JDA created. We're passing in the routing JDA handler, which has already been constructed by Spring. So we know at this point the routing JDA handler has its message repository, its Discord user repository, its Discord server repository, all instantiated. It has to, because the init method is only called post-construction, which does not make a goddamn bit of sense. All right, let's take a look at the other lifecycle methods that we can implement here, because maybe onReady is not really what we want. On generic event, probably not useful. We got resume and reconnect. Those are reasonable. Definitely need our shutdown message. None of these are massively important. On guild ready, this might be promising. Yeah, let's look. I'm just going to scroll through the rest of these, but that looks more promising. Yeah, we don't care about any of the voice stuff. Let's go with on guild ready. Let's give that a shot. Oops. We definitely don't want that. Okay. And we're just going to quickly let's just take a look. Yeah, I know all that. Blah, 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 blah. That should all be fine. Yeah, I don't really care about any of that. Yes, we already know about this. This is all fine. Okay, yes, none of that is useful. So we're going to go ahead and just take this. Get guild. Oh yeah, we can just do that. Wondering if this is going to have the same problem. And we're going to say while Discord server repository equals null. Yeah, we're just going to do nothing. We're just going to sit there and do nothing. That'll come back and bite me in the ass, I'm sure, but we're going to do it. Yep, so here we go. It's initializing before the... Okay, folks, I know what the problem is, but I need to think through how we're going to resolve it. Just because we need to ensure that everything is ready, you know, before we all right, I've got an idea. No, I'm going to think through a proper solution rather than the hack I was going to do. But what I am certain of is that the issue is being caused by the Discord server repository not being available yet at the time of the on guild ready method being called. I suppose we can always... Well, no. I'm going to think of a proper solution. So, given that we've been going for just about 2 hours, I think we're going to call it a day. Yeah, I think that's appropriate. And Rob, are you still in chat? If so, if you wouldn't mind finding me somebody to raid, that'd be great. Yeah. Actually, I'll do it. I'll just pop over here real quick to another tab. We'll grab this guy. I know he is getting close to affiliate. All right, folks. Thank you for stopping by, and have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Alright, apparently we cannot raid. Oh hey, it's Aiden. Bear with me just a second. Thank you for your patience, folks. We're almost there. Hey, Kitty, thank you. Oh, okay, we're ready.